on the platform formerly known as Twitter, and the hashtag is #InTheKnow. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. Plus, our friend Barry Williams from ECTC's Litchfield campus will stop by. We'll get caught up on what's happening over at the college. And he typically has a word of the day for us, so we'll even learn something even more than normal. That and a whole lot more coming up today. Here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beej. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Someone shorter than you sat in your chair yesterday, and so your boom was lower than normal.
Yeah.
Right? So you had to make an adjustment.
Yeah.
I said to you yesterday or one day earlier this week, I said turkey prices are up heading into Thanksgiving, to which you said, do you recall what you said?
I do, but good thing we have.
Yeah, good thing we have
7.
several in the freezer.
Yes.
Or I don't know if several was the word, but we are kind of stocked up in that department. But according to the American Farm Bureau Federation, the U.S. turkey flock has decreased to an estimated 195 million birds in 2025, marking the lowest total in roughly 4 decades. That's down 3% from last year and 36% from 1996. So that's bringing prices up just a little bit. But
I think I also said maybe we should get into turkey farming.
I think you did say we should get into turkey farming, and I don't know what I said to that. I don't.
You commented on the prices of food or feed for the turkeys.
Yeah, absolutely. He is the 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio News Hawk Award. He's the 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley. And the sports. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
Doing pretty well. Halloween a week from tomorrow, and it occurs to me you'll be calling a football game during trick or treat hours on Friday, so your porch light won't be on. So have you even bought any Halloween candy, even to treat yourself?
No. I mean, I don't really even have much of a sweet tooth to begin with. So I would eat a couple of pieces and I'd be fine, and I'd be wasting the rest.
Right. Candy can lay around the house most of the year, and I wouldn't pay too much attention to it. But for some reason, when it's around for Halloween, it just feels like, you got to have a little piece. It's a snack size. It won't hurt you all that much. But I did run across something funny today. If you were trick-or-treating, would there be one candy, Sam, you would hope for? Be like, yes, this is the best house.
Oh, gosh. No, I mean, I really wasn't that picky. I mean, I liked Crunch Bars, but I was never that picky.
An 11-year-old said full-size Twix or Hershey's bar. Emphasis on the full size. I
Yeah,
think.
the full size is always a win. Whether you necessarily liked the candy bar or not, it was a full size.
Joey, who's age 10, said a king-size Crunch Bar is the sign of a great house. The rarest candy is Sugar Babies. I've never had one in my whole entire life. Gummy Krabby Patties would also be good.
Yeah, you gotta love the gummy Krabby Patties.
Yes.
5-year-old said lollipops or Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Those are distinctly different, but she's got range. A 9-year-old said there's a house in our neighborhood that sets up a table with whole bags of a single brand of candy, and kids get to pick the one that they want.
Yeah.
Though I watched a kid choose a whole bag of Dots over Smarties last year.
There you go.
Travesty. And then a 10-year-old said king size Hershey's, king size everything. Like, yeah,
I feel like that's most kids.
No, you hit the mother load. Now the worst side, Zaim, that 11-year-old that said full size Twix. He said the worst thing to pass out are toothbrushes and raisins.
Oh, yeah.
Margot, age 7, said, in my opinion, Warheads are the worst to give out because they're too sour and most kids don't like them. Sawyer said 100 grand bars are awful. Joey said Twizzlers or licorice sticks. No one likes them. Miranda said never dental floss. And 8-year-old Elena said fruits, raisins, veggies. No one wants healthy stuff. Not on Halloween, apparently, or at least the majority of the kids. We can see now into the forecast what Halloween is going to look like and the trick-or-treat. And it does look like, at least this time yesterday, it looked like it will be dry, and it looks like it is remaining dry, but high will be in the mid-50s. So jackets or coats are going to be needed by the evening hours for the trick or treat. And I will remind you, since Congress changed daylight saving time by a couple of weeks back, it's been over 20 years ago now, when they did that, they made the daylight saving time after Halloween, which means that the first hour of trick or treating is not even dark. So it's you get a little daylight hours there at the end, and then you'll get into some cooler temperatures. But between now and then, we will get some rain early into mid next week. But let's cover the end of this work week first. Sunny and cool will end our work week. We'll see sunny with highs in the near 90s. Now tonight, and yes, the Weather Service has revised. They have included a freeze warning for Grayson and Hart counties, and then off into the other distance. So my duty roster has suddenly changed for the afternoon, I have a feeling. There's small weekend rain chances for the long term. So sunny and a high of 62 today. We'll see freeze warning and mostly clear tonight, a low of 68. And it's because of the clear is why. If it were going to be a little bit cloudy, we'd be less likely to get a freeze or a frost. But the low will be 38 tonight, increasing clouds for tomorrow and a high of 62. It's going to feel like fall Friday night football, like the late fall Friday night football tomorrow. Yep, you're going to have to. Luckily for you, I suppose you have a little heater that you can kick on.
But the window's still open.
Yes, but not all of the crew, of course, is indoors. So got to take care of everyone. The United States has. But before I do that, I saw a thing this morning: rake the leaves or don't rake the leaves. You're shaking your head. I don't.
I mean, it's an exercise in futility.
I don't mean now.
Here.
I mean when it's finished.
You're asking this question 24 hours too late.
Asking it 24 hours too late?
Well, I'm meaning the person that really would know the
saying.
answer to said question would be on the show 24 hours ago and would actually be able to give us the correct answer of what you should do. Because if there's an opinion on this show that I trust, it would be hers on that topic.
So I read
she knows better than us, I would assume.
I read this morning that a thin layer of leaves can be helpful to birds and insects because they use it as insulation, and that's where they hibernate. And then robins use that as a food source in the winter. But I'm already feeding the birds, so I've got that taken care of. They say don't leave them piled up because that's counterproductive. That'll damage your soil and hurt your grass. But a thin layer won't be that bad. It can be helpful. So I'm going to compromise. I got areas that are going to be leaf covered, and I've got areas that are going to be leaf free.
Don't your good no shoulders like your leaf areas too?
If you want to blow them onto my garden, that's great.
There will be some on there. I think I'm also going to burn some leaves down between in that area. So that can be good too. So I don't want them stacked up all winter, but I'll deal with that in a few weeks when they're finished falling. But now that they've started falling, it's like, well, will you just go ahead and fall? Because I would rather be out here on a 58-degree day than a 38-degree day trying to deal with the leaves. The United States has struck 2 more alleged drug-carrying boats, this time in the Pacific Ocean. U.S. military yesterday launched its 9th strike against an alleged drug-carrying vessel, killing 3 people in the Eastern Pacific. And it's had a strike earlier in the week, too, also in the Pacific. Now, depending upon your political ideology, you either say this is a great idea or it's not a great idea. President Trump saying that this is a war, and, we've been having a war on drugs since the 80s. We haven't been overly successful in it. And then conversely, you say, well, I mean, this is a military action, and if it's a war, isn't Congress supposed to be involved in this rather than it being unilateral? I suppose I look at it in another way. I'm trying to find a different perspective to look at it rather than just from a partisanship standpoint. But if we knew there were a river of poison flowing into our country, like if you use the analogy that upstream, like in Canada, they were dumping poison into the waterways that then filtrated out through tributaries and all over the country, and they were killing Americans, wouldn't we do everything we possibly could do to stop that? And I think that we would, but we're not using the same lens to make that decision, I think, always. So I don't know entirely how I feel about this, but if it saves American lives, I think that I'm, in the end, going to be all for it. When Whitney was here yesterday, talking from an agricultural perspective, she was talking about how some of the beef farmers haven't been particularly happy with the Trump administration over recent days because his idea to import more beef from Argentina could potentially hurt their profits. And then earlier this month, soybean farmers also complained that a $20 billion aid package for Argentina had allowed that country to sell soybeans to China rather than China buying American soybeans. So they're saying that this is kind of putting farmers at a disadvantage, especially during a shutdown. It has been announced that the Department of Agriculture will reopen 2,100 county offices all over the country today, despite the ongoing government shutdown, and will also help farmers and ranchers get access to $3 billion of aid from existing programs. So your FSA offices are going to be staffed with 2 people. I don't know. Some offices have more. Maybe some offices have less. But that office will be staffed if you need, and so that's good information for you if you need it. The Ohio County Sheriff's Office is looking for a suspect with a history of domestic violence, assault, and violating emergency protective orders. The sheriff in Ohio County said police are looking for 29-year-old Austin Moore of Beaver Dam in an ongoing active investigation. Adam Wright said Moore is wanting for violating EPO, DVO, third-degree terroristic threatening, and second-degree unlawful imprisonment. You can see all of his details, his metrics at K105.com if you think you might know something about this case. A teenager changing a tire pushed his girlfriend out of the way just before being struck on the side of the Cumberland Parkway. This happened last week at about 11:30 a.m. at the 82-mile marker eastbound in Pulaski County when 19-year-old Cody Cahall was changing a flat tire. According to WKYT, he pushed his fiancée out of the way just prior to him being struck by a vehicle that then fled the scene. He suffered a broken shoulder, a laceration that went to the bone. He was airlifted to UK hospital where he remains. The fiancée was not injured, though, and so a huge amount of chivalry involved in making sure that she was okay. Attorney General Russ Coleman has announced a proposed settlement with LG&E and KU to protect affordable and reliable energy for Kentucky families and businesses. Utilities around the country are seeking double-digit rate increases on their customers. Coleman has kept them out of the state for LG&E and KU customers. Kentucky customers will see an increase of less than $10 on their monthly gas or electric bills. As part of the settlement agreement, LG&E agreed to lock in base rates until at least August of 2028. Coleman prioritized the provisions to lock in rates because it delivers certainty and predictability to Kentuckians for multiple years. They are the largest. Electric utility in the state. They have 975,000 customers in 94 counties, so a big footprint. That LG&E. We don't hear about them. They have a presence here, of course.
I use them.
Yeah, because you're kind of on a federal road, and so it's sort of, if you go back throughout history, before the rural cooperatives were formed, you had to be along city lines or a federal highway or closer to cities. That's where electrical service came to first, and so they were an early provider. And then in their name, Warren Rural Electric, grew out into the more agricultural, more rural areas, and that's where you're more likely to find them. But that's from the early days, from the electrical grid standpoint, the forerunners to LG&E were first to get there. Grayson County Lady Cougar Volleyball will be in the district championship game tonight, and they'll be down at Browntown, Sam?
They'll be 6 o'clock tonight against Whitesville Trinity. So hopefully they can win what I believe is their second straight. I believe they did win the district championship last year. So I'm hoping to get down there. So if you'll want more up-to-date updates, I'll put those on our Twitter page at K105 Sports. You can do that because I think they've now started to actually give a little bit of cell phone service to Brownsville. So I think I'll actually be able to send a tweet.
Is that true?
I had more success yesterday.
You did?
I did.
At the Vandalay Industries warehouse, has it gotten better?
No.
No. Okay. Still
not at
not
all.
good there. All
that
right,
is
just
still
checking.
SOS legit. No, literally.
I don't.
SOS.
I don't know if it's Kyle Pierce's doing that got us the better cell phone service. I don't know if it's him or who did it down there.
So on campus, it's better. You're saying
it's gotten
maybe
a little bit better. Yes.
All right.
Well, and I was close to campus, so
I say this now, and it's probably not going to be great tonight, just because it'll be a jam-packed gym. But yeah, so if you want updates, and hopefully I'll throw up a picture later tonight that says district champs.
We already do know, though, they will be playing in the regional tournament next week, correct?
Correct, and I believe that's at Owensboro. That's on my list here today to figure out. Because, of course, it's in Owensboro.
Of course. The Breeders' Cup is next week. It's at Del Mar. Horse racing pretty much disappears into the background whenever we don't have a Triple Crown or the way that and it's not held at Keeneland or at Churchill Downs. But if you're interested in horse racing, that's going on next weekend, November 1st. And 2nd is the dates that will be taking place. So, all right, so there you go. We caught up on the headlines of the day and going to get to a break. When we come back, we are going to talk with our friend Barry Williams from ECTC's Litchfield campus. He's an associate professor there, and we'll get caught up with him. And I presume we'll learn our word of the day coming up here on In the Know.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ashley Gabbard, internal medicine physician with Owensboro Health. I'd like to talk with women 40 and over about having annual mammograms, even if there is no history of breast cancer in your family. Early detection provides women a strong advantage in fighting breast cancer. Ask your primary care provider for a referral and schedule your screening online at owensborohealth.org/mammogram.
By now, you've probably heard about Litchfield's first gun and knife show at the Center on Main. If you haven't, don't worry. Join us October 25th for an event you won't forget. Vendor registration is open, but hurry. Only 4 to 5 spots available. Just $25 per table. Admission is $5 at the door, and kids 12 and under get in free. Whether you're a collector or just curious, there's something for everyone. Email info at visitlitchfield.com for more details. Don't miss out.
Not everyone's cut out for the open road. Some folks like the steady 9 to 5. Others crave the call of the wild or the unpredictability of a snowstorm. That's where Youngblood Excavating steps in. If you've got a Class A or B CDL and ADOT medical certificate, we need you for our snowplow team. Part-time on-call November through April. Answer the call and earn $32.50 per hour. If you're up for the challenge, contact Youngblood Excavating on Facebook. Drive with purpose. Drive with Youngblood. Call 270-804-3999.
Diane from Michigan, a disabled senior citizen trying to get by. Henry from Florida, a veteran fighting to make ends meet. Elena from Arizona, a mother struggling to feed her daughter. Hi, I'm Connie Britton, and I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year, like Diane, Henry, and Elena. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Fall in Kentucky isn't just football season. It's hunting season. It's fishing season. It's game time outdoors. Get your license, permits, and all you need at fw.ky.gov. Sponsored by the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife.
They've been waiting. They've been watching. But now, their time has come. Their slumber is over. And the souls are awake. Come live the nightmare at Louisville's most award-winning haunted attraction, the Devil's Attic. For more info, visit thedevilsattic.com.
Apple says liquid glass can now be customized. The company is allowing users to opt between clear and tinted. The beta feature is now available to developers, and the public should have access to the beta in a few days. Anthropic is giving its AI coding assistant, Claude Code, a web app. It lets developers use their web browser to create and manage multiple AI coding agents. Claude Code for the web is now available for Anthropic's paid plans. Federal regulators are investigating Waymo after a robo-taxi made a dangerous move. The NTSA says a video shows a Waymo driving around a parked school bus while children were exiting. The company argues that the bus in Atlanta was partially blocking the driveway that the robo-taxi was trying to use. And Adobe is offering a new product so businesses can use its creative features to harness AI. Adobe AI Foundry was launched on Monday to let companies build custom generative AI models using their own intellectual property. It builds off of Adobe Firefly to produce images, videos, and text that utilize a company's logo or branding. Tech Report, I'm Mark Mayfield.
Today is Canning Day. It is also Boston Cream Pie Day. It's Croc Day. Yes, the shoes, not the animals, not the crocodiles. And it is also Slap Your Irritating Coworker Day today. And with that in mind, I bring in our good friend Barry Williams from ECTC Litchfield. Good morning, Professor. Welcome back.
So you're telling me I need to have my guard up today against my coworkers because I'm pretty sure I'm that irritating one.
Well, if you can't think of any irritating coworkers, then it's probably you, because there has to be one on every campus. I do believe that you should know the rules, however. There are rules for Slap Your Irritating Coworker Day.
That is good to know. Okay, what are they?
You can only slap one person per hour, no more. So if you have multiple ones, you have to ration them out by the hour. You can slap the same person again if they irritate you again later in the same day. That's fully allowed. You are allowed to hold someone down as other coworkers take their turn slapping the irritant if they're also their irritating coworker. And if questioned by a supervisor, you are allowed to lie. So those are the rules for slap your irritating coworker today.
So if I get home and my wife begins to make some kind of illusions, like, I consider us like co-workers on the same team, I'm going to know that she's been listening to the show.
Yes, marriage is something we work on together. Yeah, you might want to keep at arm's length. I know you have no irritating coworkers at ECTC Litchfield, so there will be no slapping going on today, but it's a big week. Your 8-week advantage, your second term of this second half of the year just got underway this week, correct?
Yes, we had to put the kibosh in fall break and get ready to go with a new 8 weeks. Of course, it's been a little unusual for me. I teach a lot of dual credit this semester, and they go the full semester span. So I only have one new 8-week advantage class that starts, but a lot of my colleagues not so fortunate. They have had to hit the ground running with a lot of new starts, but that's just part of it.
I think it's interesting how there's sort of an evolution, but also an ebb and flow of education. Is that you had been drifting toward this 8-week advantage strategy, which kind of boiled it down to where you could focus and be hyper focused for an 8-week stretch and then reset and do other things rather than use the traditional model. But as you see the blending of high school and associate degrees, college degrees coming in, those kind of get blended a little bit, and you have to sort of lean back to more of the semester model to match what they're doing, yes? And in Grayson County's case, aren't they on the trimester model, or did they go back to the semester model?
They are still on the trimester model. In fact, it's the only school system I know of that uses a trimester. Now, I'm not well-versed in all of the educational frameworks across the state of Kentucky, but it's pretty unique.
Yes, I had not heard of it before whenever they went to that model, and I thought, okay, well, that's somewhat intriguing. I'm sure there has to be a good reason for it. As we start the 8-week advantage term, and that's sort of in the rear view, we have to readjust our horizon, and now we're looking off into January for the next onboarding opportunity. What date will that come?
So January the 12th is when the spring semester starts, and that may seem like a long way off, but man, here we are less than a week away from Halloween. Well, I guess about a week away from Halloween.
A week from tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, and it feels like we were just in summer. Of course, maybe it feels like we were just in summer because it was like last week we're in the 80s still, but, before you know it, January's going to be here. So if you're thinking about getting enrolled in for classes for the spring, the time to get advised and register is now. We're advising students now, which means those slots are filling up. So if you want the schedule that best accommodates your needs, I would come in, make an appointment sooner rather than later.
We are also at the same time, speaking of horizon and keeping our gaze off in the distance, we're even looking into 26, 27 from a FAFSA standpoint.
Yes, and they always make adjustments to the FAFSA, and to help students navigate that, we have an event called FAFSA Fridays, and those run from 8 until 12. And they're ongoing now, or they'll be starting up pretty soon. But I think that those are going to be going on through the month of November. So that only gives you, what, 4? I don't have a calendar open in front of me, but what, 4 Fridays, 5 at the very most?
It might only be 3 also, because the 4th one is probably Black Friday.
Thanksgiving, yep, the Thanksgiving break. So you're looking at maybe 3 Fridays. That's 12 hours. That's not a lot of time. So if you are thinking about the FAFSA, you might want to face that head on. Come on in. Put the kibosh in your worries and dread about dealing with numbers and finances, and get those documents together and come on in and get registered and get that FAFSA straightened out.
You mentioned Halloween being a week from tomorrow. I understand you all will be doing some type of spooktacular next week.
Yeah, so we've got the place here all decorated for Halloween, with all sorts of ghouls and ghosts, and we'll be giving out candy. There's lots and lots of bags of candy. And I heard you and Sam talking that neither one of you have a sweet tooth. I, unfortunately, do. So coming in here and seeing all of the candy on the shelves, it's like, man, that's a temptation. That's a temptation I don't need. And my favorite candy, by the way, the one I always wanted, give me Reese's.
Yeah.
The Reese's Pumpkins, because there's more peanut butter in those.
I must have a confession. I've already had a little snack pack of Reese's Pieces this morning. It was my breakfast dessert. I was like, okay, well, I got to have that. I got to have that today. Speaking of your spooktacular event over on campus, I'm hearing rumors that there's an abundance of people who are dressed as construction workers for Halloween this year.
Yeah, that's true. It's not just Bob the Builder costumes. We got guys that are out there in force with hard hats and shovels and pouring concrete and gravel with lots of heavy equipment. It's the progress on the construction is moving along. Hopefully, we'll be ready for that new building by the start of fall 2026. Hey, before we move too far past Spooktacular, I don't know that I ever mentioned the times. It's going to be,
oh yeah, that's important.
Of course, Halloween from 4:30 to 6:30. So a 2-hour window. You can come, bring kids. You'll get bags full of candy. So who knows what the weather will be like on Halloween? There's been some Halloweens where it's been warm, somewhere it's been stormy, and somewhere we've even seen snowflakes.
Yeah.
But in here, it'll be a balmy 68 to 70 degrees, and you can get all the candy you can ask for.
I think it's a great outreach too, and Safe Spot I think doesn't begin until 5, so it gives you a great opportunity to swing by campus there and on East Carroll Gibson on Boulevard, and then get a little. The purpose is you get a little tour of ECTC while you go through, and you pick up your candy, and that's the purposes of it. And that's one thing that's in a multitude of things. You and I had the privilege of being in the same ambassadors meeting recently. And the ambassadors meeting is basically community partners together coming and figuring out how we can all do better, or where do we need to modify messaging, or what do we need to do differently to make everyone better, including the end user being the student. And I find there to be a lot of great ideas exchanged in those meetings as someone who's, not directly involved in the education community, but I kind of ride in a sidecar with conversations with you all like this. So I find it to be very, very interesting. But one of the things that I've heard in multiple ambassadors meetings is that parents of high school students seem to be at a deficit on understanding work-ready opportunities, the scholarship opportunities, or the financial aspect of kids who choose a work-ready path. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, of course, I'm in that boat as the parent of a high schooler, actually 2 high schoolers. And what happens for parents is it's just information overload. I check my inbox, and I'm getting emails from different principals, from different schools, and different coaches and different directors, and things can easily get lost in the shuffle. And so what the Work Ready Scholarship is it's a program that helps cover the tuition for students that are going, they're getting, say, an AAS, an Associate of Applied Science degree, or they're going into some sort of career that is going to prepare them immediately for a career. And in many ways, it pairs with dual credit opportunities. So you get so many classes awarded through dual credit. You pair that with Work Ready, and if the classes qualify as Work Ready, then that's just extra tuition dollars that let students save their keys money. So my best advice for parents is be proactive. Hear that name, Work Ready. Call the college, inquire about information. We're trying to put out leaflets with QR codes and websites so it's quick and easy, but nonetheless, that's still going to get lost in the information overload that comes to the way of the parents. So prioritize that. Seek out information ready. Go to our website, elizabethtown.kctcs.edu, and just in the search, type in Work Ready and then research that. It's a great way to make sure that tuition's covered, not just for your high schooler, but for you if you're looking at coming back to school as well.
I think about the beauty of the model like this. You've heard me say this before. We spent 50 or 60 years saying you got to go to college and get a 4-year degree. You got to go get a 4-year degree. You got to go get a 4-year degree. And then guess what? Most people did, and we ended up with an abundance. And then people have a degree and they go, well, I don't have gainful employment, or at least I can't make a living wage. So now we've said, wait a minute, we don't have enough carpenters, we don't have enough welders, we don't have enough, name it, plumbers, electricians, we don't have those. And so now we're swinging back the other way. And so you can get those certifications, but the brilliance of like the ECTC model is that you can also get like a 2-year business degree so that you get the fundamentals of business and understanding how to operate a small business and be an entrepreneur, and then use your skill set of being an electrician, for example. And those people in the future are going to be hugely wealthy.
Yeah, I mean, in nursing, you have industrial maintenance, robotics. We're also actively partnering with like the University of Louisville to offer an engineering program. An applicable or applied engineering, I think is what they call it. And so the beauty of the community college is our ability to, take tight corners. We can turn on a dime, well, maybe a quarter, maybe not quite a dime, but certainly better able to maneuver than larger institutions because there's fewer moving parts and we're better able to adjust to what the needs of the community are.
On that note of certifications and kind of dovetailing from Work Ready, there's an opportunity for people who are out in the community to also additionally contribute to that. And it was a program that I first learned about in our recent ambassadors meeting. And it's the title of it is escaping me at the moment, but it's basically a STARTS program. So if you want to be responsible for contributing some dollars that help a young person who is going into a trade get their first set of boots so that they are ready to go to work, right? They have the opportunity, they have the training, and now, well, I need to be properly equipped, or whether it's tools or whether it's whatever it might be scrubs, it might be, who knows, that you all are even getting really creative in trying to find these resources so that the graduate has kind of the full armor ready to go out into the world.
Yeah, the goal is to sort of put the kibosh in the excuses, because we use excuses as disclaimers, as opt-outs, so that we use those to keep us from doing things. So if it's like, well, I can't afford this. Well, I don't have childcare. Well, I can't pass algebra. I can't afford this. The FAFSA is intimidating. The goal is to sort of look at all those barriers and tear them down so that the way is a little bit clearer for the student, for the potential student, to come in and be successful.
Another one of our strong community partners is the Western Kentucky Regional Blood Center. And matter of fact, I guess it was this time last week probably that Vicki Ellison was with us. She's the outreach and communications coordinator. So she was on. We had a nice conversation. And I see where she's going to be, she and the Bloodmobile are going to be on your campus coming up.
Yeah, that's going to be, I think, Monday, November the 17th. From 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So the early part of the day, the Bloodmobile will be here in the parking lot. And so it's just something that that I'm happy that we're able to do. I've always been an advocate of keeping the word community in community college, and that is being a part of a system that is give and take, where people come here. Obviously, they give us their tuition dollars that helps us pay bills and offer curriculum, and in return, we get to provide opportunities like this. And with all of the tragedies and disasters between tornadoes and floods, there's a need for blood in the blood bank. So I hope people will come out and support this. And again, that's November 17th from 9 to 2, and that will be here on campus.
Speaking of community things, I know you might not have the specifics or the details, but I know that Miss Teresa Armstrong has ambition of having some type of late fall or winter or holiday performance of the community choir.
Yeah, Jarbo. Yeah, Teresa Jarbo.
She was an Armstrong, yes.
Yeah, I figured you were just testing me to make sure that I got her name right.
No, when we went to school together, she was an Armstrong, so I guess she's always going to be an Armstrong for me.
Always going to be an Armstrong.
Yeah.
Yep. That's right. So yeah, I think we're still working out those particulars, but I'm just excited that we're able to have a community choir. I think maybe next up we can have a community band. That might be a little bit further along on the horizon, but still, I'm excited for those opportunities and for our students. And we've got some really gifted and talented students that have some great voices, and I'm excited for that concert. I guess it's still going to be at the theater here. I think that's the last I heard. I don't know if they found another venue for that or not.
When you mentioned the band, I'm reminded of the Andy Griffith episode. You know, they got the community band together and they built the gazebo, and also, I mean, it is possible.
That's true. Maybe it's nothing else but a bunch of guys with some bottles and some kazoos. Anything would be something.
I heard you. There's been a theme throughout our conversation today, and the word kibosh has jumped out at me, and I think I do know the meaning of kibosh. If you'll let me give it a try on what I think
Sure.
it means. Kibosh is the middle third of a shish kebab. Like you've got the pieces of the meat and the vegetables that are in the center, not the ones on the end that are more overdone. The kibosh is right there in the middle of the shish kebab. Could that be it?
The kibosh, like the big shebang, like that big piece of meat.
Yeah,
piece of meat that's there.
Yeah, something like that. That's
Yeah,
probably
that would
not
probably
right.
be way cooler,
That's
but-
probably
but-
not right.
No, and to kind of go along with your Andy Griffith reference, it means basically nip it in the bud. So it basically means to put the brakes on or put a stop on something.
Okay, well,
And it's a Dickinson word. It comes from, I think, the earliest use of it was in a Charles Dickens novel, and I don't know if it's as prevalent in our vocabulary, but I thought that's a cool word. We need to use that word more often.
I would have bet money that was some type of Jewish word or Yiddish, or it would come from something like that. Sounds so much like that. I didn't realize that Dickens did that. So thanks for sharing. Thanks for the education today and our word of the day.
You're quite welcome.
Good to see you, Barry. We'll see you again next month. I think you're going to be here for the full hour in November.
Yes, I am going to be co-hosting. Excited and looking forward to that.
Can't wait to see you. Happy Halloween. We'll see you soon.
All right, take care.
That's Barry Williams from ECTC's Litchfield campus. We got to get to a break. Today's Did You Know is coming up here on In the Know.
They say getting there is half the fun. That may well be true. But let's not overlook the importance of actually getting there. Share the road safely, Kentucky. Watch out for your fellow travelers, whether on 4 wheels, 2 wheels, or 2 feet.
A message from Team Kentucky. You may have been born to be wild, but you weren't born to be dead from a needless motorcycle crash. So when you're even just a little impaired, you do not get your motor running. You do not head out on the highway. What you do is get a ride from a sober friend, a taxi or rideshare service, or public transportation. Because you may be looking for adventure, but you're not looking for trouble. Please ride sober. Paid with funds through the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Make this Christmas unforgettable with Trans-Siberian Orchestra, live in concert, presenting The Ghost of Christmas Eve, the best of TSO and more. A fusion of rock and classical with a heartwarming Christmas tale. December 10th, Rupp Arena. Reserve seats on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, live in concert.
Ooma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to handle the busy holiday season, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Remember when they used to ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? At Bank of America, we ask every day, what would you like the power to do? When you work here, you help build businesses, inspire communities, and forge legacies. And now we've raised our U.S. minimum wage to $25 an hour. So the opportunity to do more also comes with competitive pay. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/25. Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
K105 weather from the Wave Storm Tracking Team is brought to you by Youngblood Excavating Snowplow Team.
Twin Lakes weather. We had a few clouds around this morning. We're going to see increased amounts of sunshine, though, as those clouds continue to roll off to the east. A high temperature in the upper 50s to lower 60s. Freeze warning tonight. Get ready for more frost on that wind chill as temperatures drop down to the freezing mark in many areas away from the city, but in the city, upper 30s are likely. And then more of a high overcast type of setup on Friday with highs into the lower 60s. From the Wave Storm Tracking Team, I'm Brian Good.
Did you know the word unfriend first appeared in 1659? So it was not created as a result of people getting mad at one another on Facebook. It's been around since 1659. So we've learned two interesting words in the last few minutes, or at least the origins of two interesting words. Unfriend. I have had to unfriend a person or two, and perhaps they me too. I don't really know if you've unfriended me. There are some times, though, when it says, like, suggest a person that I should know. I go, wait, I thought we were friends. But just to protect my own feelings, I say, well, they probably had to get a new account. Their old account
Maybe
probably
you got kiboshed.
Probably got
I remember
hacked.
we had a conversation about somebody that you unfriended once.
We did? Oh, well, we probably had multiple conversations about.
Well, there was one very specific one that I remember that we had that was a justified reason as to why you unfriended said person.
Okay. Well, you'll have to. It's probably happened. It's probably happened several times to me, and maybe you and I have only had a conversation about one of them, so that one doesn't come to mind. But that's okay.
I could share the story with you off air. I don't know if it's really one you want to bring on air.
Yeah, probably not. A few years ago, Miss Buckles over there got recruited to go to Clarkson Elementary School and basically teach a class on how to make a radio commercial.
Yes.
Remember this?
I do.
And so I don't remember.
Career day.
Yeah, it was at some type of career day, and so experiential learning. So she went in, and they went through the entire process. It was a commercial for McDonald's, and it did run later on in the day so that the kids could actually hear their work, etc. Now I recall very specifically.
I don't remember this. This must have been before my time.
Yeah, it was before you. It was before you were here.
Yeah.
And so, but I remember very vividly because it's something that stuck with me. I'm afraid it is an indication of the world in which we live in. Is that in your teaching lesson? I think you said, "Do you know how radio stations make money and really generate revenue and make money are two different things. You got to have one before you can have the other, but you can have one without having the other." But in their terms, how do radio stations make money? To which a kid raised their hand and you called on them and he said, "The government." To which we all laughed at. No, that's
negative, kid,
definitely,
negative.
definitely not how that works. And so
nice.
I've always smirked at that. Well, yeah, until they kill your endowment, and you're your PBS or whoever.
Yeah, you're our friends down the road.
Yeah, so this stood out to me. Ed Sheeran went to a classroom to teach third graders how to create a song.
Yeah.
And so there's a 15-minute video. It ends with a show and tell performance. It's called The PS20 Kids and the Morning Routine is where you'll find this full 15-minute video. But I was really interested in it. Mr. Ed, he's got like a substitute teacher's patch on because these third graders don't necessarily know who Ed Sheeran is.
Was
They
this
might have heard
Beaver
it.
Dam Elementary?
They heard his music. I don't think so, but it could be coming to an elementary school near you. But it says Mr. Ed, and he comes in and he's introduced and talks about songs, and he teaches them about 3/4 time and 4/4 time and waltzes, and he uses Disney compositions to tie it all together. So they decide that they're going to create a song. And so about third graders, well, I mean, you can't really create a song about love. You can't really, there's probably not much heartache. There's, somebody might have gotten mad at you. Your parents might be mad. So they wrote a song about brushing your teeth.
Okay.
And so this is just a snippet of the video, but they get them all
Sorry to stop
together.
it, but it's time for the final performance.
So this is the real teacher.
Well, that was a mess. Hopefully they can pull it together for their teachers.
Is this in England?
Sure, right.
So it's kind of like School of Rock, just in a compressed form.
I can't understand the first line.
I woke up today and I brushed my teeth.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, there's other kids. They get to play the percussion, etc.
Yes, he was a very good teacher. He was really chill and he was really nice.
So anyway, it's a really sweet video. If you get a
Okay.
chance to do that, it's fun to watch and see. Ed Sheeran is a good guy, no matter what what UConn might say. Speaking of Eds, Being Eddie is a new trailer out for Eddie Murphy's candid new documentary, which will be it's coming to Netflix on November 12th. So Eddie Murphy's always been I've always been a huge Eddie Murphy fan. He was, just enough older than me that he was on those early seasons of SNL when I was just kind of learning about SNL and his Delirious tour and all. He's just really good. Kristen Bell missed the Today Show amid the social media backlash over their anniversary post. She and Dax Shepard were thank you for not killing me or something. They were celebrating their anniversary and they were just picking and having fun with one another. But some people took offense because it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month and they say, don't make light of stuff like that, etc. So anyway, she missed her performance or missed her scheduled interview on the Today Show this week. And then 3 mornings ago, while most of us were sleeping, the internet broke. AWS, Amazon Web Services, which hosts our website, hosts many, many websites. I mean, it's just, whether it's Fire TV, it said our Fire TVs said recent apps were the internet. I thought it was funny. And none of us are using the internet. So something happened overnight that they were like, we're trying to recover from. And then it was back in working order by most of the time that we were all up and going and anyone needed the internet. But Monday's Amazon Web Services outage disrupted 8 Sleep smart mattresses, causing beds to overheat and trap users in upright positions. The AWS failure affected heat controls on the smart beds, left customers unable to cool down overheating mattresses. And then some with the Pod 5 Ultra found themselves stuck with mattresses locked in inclined positions designed to reduce snoring and back problems. Now, more important to me than the fact that this happened to these people, how did I not know there are smart mattresses made by Amazon?
I'm shocked you don't have one.
When I read it, I thought, this is a thing? I've never heard of 8 Sleep. Well, I've never heard of the Pod 5 Ultra.
We now know what you're putting on your Christmas list.
I know why I don't have one, though, because the Pod, it might as well be the Pod $5,000 Ultra, because that's what they cost. So, you can keep it. We got to get to I sleep just fine, thank you. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. Today's Point to Ponder, Chart Toppers, and Pearl of Wisdom and more coming up here on In the Know.
Married couples often believe they struggle because they're so different from each other. But handled well, your differences can draw you together instead of drive you apart. Like you and your spouse, my wife and I are opposites. She's a night owl. I'm a morning person. I wake up bubbly and excited to conquer the day. She doesn't. By evening, we switch roles. She's lively and ready to talk, and I just want to crawl into bed and go to sleep. From cooking to money to parenting, differences between me and my wife show up in a lot of ways. But over the years, we've learned how to channel our differences so they strengthen our relationship. We help each other see our blind spots. Like when my boys were young, Jean once told me, maybe get down on one knee when you correct them. She was reminding me of how physically imposing I was to my boys at that age. I'm over 6 foot tall, so I was scaring them even though I didn't mean to. Jean recognized that and helped me see a better way of connecting with my boys. If differences seem to be a problem in your marriage, consider changing your perspective. Your differences aren't the problem. It's how you handle them. Instead of letting your differences stir up trouble, put them to use for your relationship. The happiest couples aren't those who see the world exactly the same way. Instead, it's bringing unique perspectives together in harmony. To help your marriage thrive, go to FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
The words you are about to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the Trinity Debt Management Program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity made me understand that I'm not alone.
You really do help people.
Your kindness will never be forgotten.
Without Trinity's support, I would not have achieved my lifelong goal of becoming debt-free.
We saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of human kindness.
Trinity has carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing.
I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
20 ribeyes for $39.
The Backyard Butchers are here right now with 20 ribeye steaks for only $39. That's less than $2 a steak. Just look for the big red truck in the parking lot right now at AutoZone Auto Parts in Litchfield. Plus, they're giving away a free $300 steak box to one lucky listener. 20 ribeyes for $39. Enter to win at the big red truck at AutoZone in Litchfield. And for a limited time, get 2 pounds of crab legs for $39. Go to BackyardButchers.com for more info. Cash, credit, debit, and EBT accepted. That's BackyardButchers.com.
MD's Point to Ponder for today. How do you know when you're an adult? I know legally, like when they say, well, you're an adult, but you're not. So how do you know?
I don't know. Like,
I think it comes gradually.
Yes.
Like when you get to a point.
Responsibilities that you
Yeah. I do think I know for sure, for like in my case, when I make a noise when I stand up or sit down, I go, oh yeah, that's a real adult noise right there. Or
when you stand up, it sounds like bubble wrap.
yeah, that'd be a pretty good indication. If you've got elastic in your trouser, like in your pants waistband, if you got any elastic whatsoever, it probably you're an adult.
Yes.
Would be my guess.
So I'm wearing elastic right now, so that works.
Okay, well, it's probably not in slacks, so that would be the difference.
Or jeans.
I mean, it's
Women,
a pair of sweatpants, I guess. I guess that works.
You know, if you when you get your takeout, if you get your whatever it is, your Big Mac and your fries or whatever, and you put it on its own plate and then eat it, that's like a very adult thing to do, rather than just eating it out of the container.
Yeah,
that would probably be an
No,
indicator.
there are some restaurants that if I order the takeout from, that I'll put it on a plate just because it's a little messy.
Yeah. So I mentioned it earlier this week. Now, when all your doctors are younger than you, like, that's a very, like this week, one of my doctors, I still have the doctor, but now an NP who's half my age has been entered into the equation as part of the relationship. And I'm going, I think I have a child your age. You know, it's like, oh, goodness gracious. Always that you're an adult.
I haven't had that problem yet.
No, I would think not, unless his name is Doogie Howser. Law and Order, NBC. All the Law and Orders are on tonight. And today's highlight in history, this date in 1983, 241 U.S. service members, most of them Marines, were killed in a suicide truck bombing at the Marine Corps barracks at Beirut International Airport in Lebanon. Birthdays. Ang Lee is 71. Dwight Yoakam is 69. I'm going to come back to that in a moment. Weird Al Yankovic is 66. Kat Deely is 49. Ryan Reynolds is 49. Meghan McCain is 41. Amelia Clark is 39. Gone but not forgotten. John W. Heisman, born in 1869. Frank Sutton, who played Sergeant Carter on Gomer Pyle, 1922. Johnny Carson, 1925. Jim Bunning, in 1931, former Kentucky Senator and Major League Baseball player, a Hall of Fame pitcher, in fact. And
Northern Kentucky.
That's right. And as Les Nessman would say, Chai Rodriguez was born this date in 1935. Another great episode of WKRP in Cincinnati. Let's go to chart toppers. We'll skip ahead to 1969. Elvis Presley.
I can't walk out.
Suspicious Minds. One of my favorite Elvis songs.
I love you too much, baby.
But now I always tell you that when I hear Suspicious Minds, I am immediately thinking of Dwight Yoakam's version from Honeymoon in Vegas. Nicolas Cage and Sarah Jessica Parker. When I heard it on the soundtrack, I thought, this is groovy.
Because I love you too. We can't go on together with suspicious minds.
He did a tremendous job with that. So to me, it's probably better than the original, but it's because it kicks more. I think that's why. Exile, number one in 1978. The Nutty Professor didn't know that Exile was a Kentucky band, and we talked about it the last time they were on the chart topper. These guys are from Richmond.
I just heard from Miss Riggs. She remembers the commercial.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Was that her doing? That probably could have been her
There's
doing.
a really good chance that she had something to do with that. She was the one who kicked off my my career, if you will, as a going into schools.
1987. All right, let's get into the 1990s. I think a song that is immediately, there are those songs that as soon as you hear the first note, you know exactly what it is.
Oh, yeah.
And this is one, Los Del Rio, Macarena, number one in 96. Kanye, Gold Digger, 20 years ago today. Meghan Trainor, All About That Bass, 11 years ago today. Luke Combs, Fast Car, number one 2 years ago today. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today says, of all the things you want to be, Lucky is the best. Of all the things you want to be, lucky is the best. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
The Twin Lakes Best Mix is WKHG Litchfield. The Twin Lakes Best Mix, K105.